Be live for a few minutes. Yep.
Yeah, they're on. I turned them on.
All right. Well, today is Friday, April the 12th, and myself and meteorologist Cameron Lindsey, aka Weatherman Cam, are here in the Weather Center. We just got through looking over some of the data from this morning, and what we're doing is we're kind of looking at the data from this morning, and we're taking it and we're kind of putting it into some computer models and looking back on weather events that's happened in the past with similar type weather setups. I don't know, Cameron, though, that I think that this system is comparing, or I don't know what the word is I'm looking to.
It doesn't line up well.
Yeah, the historical data, isn't. I don't think it's picking up on this system very well because it's just really not showing much of anything. Mm-hmm. And the looks to me still has higher impact severe weather event across the region.
I agree.
So we're still thinking Monday, higher impact potential severe weather event coming in. The data, really hadn't changed a whole lot. We're starting to get now into the time period where some of the shorter range, higher resolution computer data starting to pick up on it some, known as the NAM model. And I like the NAM model, especially with what's called mesoscale features, smaller scale features. But it looks like to me, at least for right now, the NAM isn't really showing. It's a little bit faster than everything, and it would keep all the severe weather north and east of us if the morning runs verified. But Cameron, in my opinion, it appears to be a bit of an outlier. It appears to be a little bit off because nothing else shows that. It's the only computer model as of right now that's showing
Yeah,
that.
everything is. Most of the global models or the longer term models, they're lining up pretty well. Whereas the NAM right now is kind of in its own universe right now. And
Yeah.
It is, like you said, it's the first round of shorter term weather information or higher resolution weather information we're getting. So that is, of course, worth watching. But right now it is kind of in its own world.
That's right.
For
Yeah.
the time being.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up I call it the severe weather parameter. This is a supercell composite, actually. This is off the European. And it shows an atmosphere trying to become a little more favorable on Sunday, but there's nothing here to produce storms on Sunday. I still think the weekend weather looks good. But here we go into Monday, and it's still, look at that, Cameron, it's still, by the afternoon, it's really hammering southwest Oklahoma, northwest Texas pretty hard with the favorable atmosphere for perhaps intense supercells.
Now, something I'm noticing, Jade and I were looking at this earlier this morning. It was not that far west earlier this morning, so that's just a little tidbit.
The models sometimes will have a tendency to slow up a bit, and they'll have a tendency, and one thing I've always noticed that oftentimes when you see these bigger weather events, they usually slow up, and they usually wind up producing severe weather north and west of us first, and then at night you'll get the leftovers, and it's usually not as intense.
Because at this time when we were looking at the data this morning, this was much further to the east. Like Wichita Falls is already in those grayish whites there.
Yeah, so this is a European, and it does show that kind of shifting east during the night. But as you know, around here at night, we just things tend to. The atmosphere isn't as volatile here at night. It begins to cool off, so a lot of the thunderstorms that you would normally see become what's called elevated. And in this situation, you'd probably see it lose that daytime heat or that instability or that energy. So you'd probably wind up seeing a situation where, with this type of scenario, where you get a little weak line of thunderstorms in the middle of the night with the severe weather, the greatest severe weather threats just west of us. But again, it's too early to make that call. It's too early to get too specific with this. It's really too early to say for sure what's going to happen. So this would be off of the NAM. This is what we call what is it? It's called SIPS. What does SIPS stand for?
I honestly do not know what it stands for, but it comes from St. Louis University. It's one of their, I guess you can say one of their data analysis. Compares it to past events as well, and it's basically mesoscale analysis, but future casting is what it is.
Right,
It's
yeah.
breaking it down
Okay.
to other parameters.
And this would be a significant tornado parameter,
Yes.
and this would show with history that the greatest parameter with this type of setup would be Nebraska and Kansas. Which, if you look at the NAM computer model, in my opinion, that would be certainly feasible because the NAM is kind of more up in here with everything,
Right.
whereas the GFS and European are more along the lines down into here. So with this type of scenario with the NAM, what you're probably seeing is your storm center up here, and then your dry line down that way with most of your intense supercells in this area. But that's a couple isolated or maybe a little line of thunderstorms down towards us. It's not very intense. So that's the NAM, and we'll have to wait, Cameron, and see how all this stuff trends over the weekend.
Yep.
If everything starts trending with the NAM, then the favorite area for the biggest severe weather would be up in here and north of us.
Right.
And in my experience, Cameron, with these things, are usually these big systems like this, usually more times than not, wind up passing us by with not a lot here. That's usually you wind up seeing the greatest severe threat north and west of you, and then you'll see it again east of you. But at least here, we don't usually wind up with the biggest severe weather. But that, again, we're not letting our guard down because it still could happen. This is off the GFS. It has the greatest tornado potential down here right over Wichita Falls, but even there, 2 is not that strong.
No.
So that's good news. So we got this, we showed this yesterday, so some of these things may not be exactly right, but there is your dry line there on Monday afternoon, and I think this is based off the European computer model, and it has thunderstorms, basically supercells down our way, Friday afternoon into Friday evening. You got the moisture increasing over the weekend, and then you have this big storm coming in from the west there, and you've got a lot of strong wind, a lot of wind energy with this. So you got the jet stream is real strong aloft, and you've got the moisture's in place to the Earth's surface. So you've got the moisture, you've got developing storm energy. Of course, we don't know what cloud cover could do. Cloud cover could be plentiful, or we could wind up with early day showers and storms that could wind up messing with the energy in the atmosphere. So many variables still left to be sorted out yet. But at least on this shows supercell thunderstorms basically from Nebraska all the way down into Texas. And if we do get these supercell thunderstorms there into southwest Oklahoma and northwest Texas, based upon some of the data that I've seen, at least as of right now, those would be in a pretty favorable environment for them to be pretty intense. That would mean perhaps some bigger supercells with bigger hail, stronger winds, and maybe even a tornado potential down that way. But again, if the NAM model is correct, the greatest threat would be east and north of us. But I just believe that for right now, I believe don't think that's going to happen.
It's like you said, and, we talked about it for, yesterday and this morning. We're still multiple days out. We still have a lot of model data to get through, and we
Yep.
still have, some of our better models that come through and show us what they're thinking regarding the situation as well.
But I don't usually get too concerned about a severe weather event really until I get about 48 to 36 hours out, because once you start getting in that range, your higher resolution convective allowing models, such as the HER model, will start picking up on things, and then you'll start understanding where things are going to line up. But as of right now, I'm a little bit concerned about Monday, and it is a first alert weather day. But as I told our people earlier, I told our viewers yesterday, and I'll tell them again today, there's no reason to panic, no reason to be sick to your stomach with anxiety over the weekend. This is still a couple days away. Things can still change. We don't know what the cap's going to look like. We don't know what cloud cover could still wind up doing. If we get a lot of clouds around, then all of a sudden you don't get the energy, you don't get the instability in the atmosphere. The storm track could wind up being further north, or it could wind up being a little bit faster, or even a little bit slower. I know I'm saying a lot here, but that could wind up impacting things as well. So,
yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that could go against severe weather being what it could be. Like you're saying, another factor is maybe we see too many storms. We've seen that multiple times, or stuff shows up to the south of us and eats up a lot of our storm energy here.
That's right. So a lot of variables still left to be sorted out between now and Monday. So my best advice is just enjoy your weekend, Cameron. The weekend looks like it's going to be great.
Oh yeah, it looks hot.
Yeah, it looks hot. Yeah, hot. Get out there and enjoy it. And then get the pool. I got my pool ready here now. So get out there and enjoy it. And we'll have updated information over the weekend on News Channel 6, on the First Alert 6 weather app, and of course, Cameron and I will be doing updates on our social media platforms as well as Jaden over the weekend. So we'll see everybody coming up tonight on News Channel 6 at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock, and I'll have another update on this severe weather potential coming up a little bit later on this evening, around 9:30. So we will see you then, everybody. Have a great afternoon.